All right, everybody. It's always a lot of fun here on the show when we get a chance to talk to stand-up comedians, especially those who have been in the business for so long, done so many great things, and an opportunity to talk it over this morning with Bobby Collins. Hello.
Mac, I'm not that old. Come on, I got underwear older than you.
That's probably true, man. That's probably 100% true, dude. It's so cool to talk to you, man. What's up?
Nothing. Been traveling around the country a lot, having a good time. Just, got a new DVD out, got a new book coming out. I'm performing tonight in New Jersey at the Performing Arts Center, tomorrow night in New Brunswick, New Jersey. So I'm having a good time,
Well, that's quite a ways from here, man. I hope hopefully you make it down this way sometime. But, yeah, you got the new DVD coming out next month, right?
Yes. And thank God, one of my CDs was once nominated for a Grammy, so they've asked to look at it just for consideration, which is always nice. You never know,
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, I wanted to ask you a few questions here today just to fill up the time here because we got 10 minutes here, I think they said. So
you got it. What do you got, Mac?
Well, here's the deal. I always love to ask this question when it comes to people who entertain for a living and all that kind of stuff. What was it in your life that, did you see someone on TV? Did you hear a record? Or what was it that made you say as a young man, hey, Bobby Collins, I'm going to be a stand-up comedian one day?
I'll be honest with you. I grew up in New York City. Things were tough. I grew up poor. Matter of fact, Poe. You know Poe. Poe is when other people come over your house to feel better about themselves. And we were poor, and my mom and dad, the only thing that I'd see them laugh, my father was like a clerk, my mother was a waitress, and I remember on Tuesday nights they'd watch Red Skelton, and then on the Sunday nights they'd watch Ed Sullivan, and when a comic came on, it's the only time I saw him laugh. And I turned around as a little boy and saying, everybody says I make people laugh. I'm going to do this. And I never turned around. I just kept going and did it.
Oh, man. See, that's cool. It goes back to the roots.
Yeah, it always does, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And, of course, they always say that, I don't know if you've heard this before. You've done, I don't know how many radio shows. How many radio shows do you think you've been on in the past 5-6 years?
Oh, I'd say maybe 200-300.
Right. And so do you run into often, and I've heard this, they say rock and roll singers want to be athletes. Athletes want to be rock and roll singers. I've heard them say thousands of times that DJs think that they're stand-up comedians.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, it's as well as I do. When it comes to radio, it's all about listening. And I wouldn't profess to do anything that you do because you're in the radio business. You know it better than me. I know how to make people laugh. That's my job. So I notice you're true. I see a lot of radio people trying to jump in and trying to be the comedian. And the best ones are the key ones are the ones that listen, throw it out there, and let the comedian run with it.
I can't agree more because, in my opinion, an interview, especially one like this, I want to give people some insight. I'm not going to try to steal the show from the guy who's paid to do that and a seasoned professional in that arena. But I just wanted to get your take on that real quick.
Yeah, and a lot of them do try to steal the show, and then you don't see those guys around that much because I'm always here. I'm like the intelligence of the United States. We're always there. The administrations come and go.
It's Bobby Collins, everybody, joining us here this morning on KMO Country 99.3. He's got a brand new DVD coming out next month, and you can check that out. It's be on Amazon, iTunes coming up in February, and Telling It Like It Is available on BobbyCollins.com, right?
You got it. Go to the website. I'd love to come down to Kentucky. How is it down there?
Well, it's pretty good, man. We had a little scare of everyone, when they say there's snow coming, everyone runs to the grocery store and buys every jug of milk and every loaf of bread, but it wasn't that bad, man. It's cold right now, but I enjoy it. The southern life is a little bit slower one, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I've performed in the South my whole life. There's some places that are wonderful. And then there's other places that we should talk about.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, too, of the different folks you've toured with over the years, here's one that ties into our country format. What was it like, and how did it come about that you were matched up with Dolly Parton once?
Oh, yeah. Dolly was great. Dolly, the best ones always teach you something. Now, Dolly, she was coming for the first time to work in Atlantic City. And being a New York City boy, they got a guy that they asked me, would I open for Dolly? And she was very nervous about Atlantic City. This wasn't her, this wasn't her element. She was like very nervous. I said, Dolly, these people love you here. They'll just go nuts over you. And she was nervous because it was Atlantic City, and this is like Caesar's Palace, and she was like, this is like not my element, and they went nuts for her. So for opening for her, each one of them teach you everything. Cher taught me how to be professional. Sinatra taught me how to be classy. But Dolly taught me how to just go out and have fun. If you have fun, the audience picks up on it. And she always lets you know and never lets you forget, these people come and pay their hard-earned money to come and see you perform. So give them the best show, but make sure you have fun.
So these things you take them with you forever, huh?
You have to. Always in life, take the best, leave the rest.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to have to use that one sometime. Bobby Collins, man, when it comes to talking to comedians, especially guys like you, man, that are, staples in the business, when you look at some of the young ones, young comedians nowadays, are there any that stand out to you that are going to have that staying power, like a guy like yourself?
You know what? The guys I came up with, they probably looked at me or I looked at them and saying, "Oh, you got to keep changing your material. Growth means change. Change doesn't always mean growth. You can cut your hair and think you've changed inside, but it comes from the inside out. So if you don't grow and change as a person and keep reading and change your material, then you're going to be a boring person like a lot of people and nothing's going to happen. And you look at somebody and say, well, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you change? You don't want to look back and have many regrets. So I just keep looking at a lot of these young comics, and you never know which one's going to hit. But there are a few out there that are clever, that you see that they keep changing their material. And those are the ones you keep an eye on, or I hope open for me. A guy opening for me tonight in New Jersey at the Performing Arts Center in Morristown, a guy named Tom Van Horn. Very clever guy. I called him up. I said, Tom, I got 2 big dates coming Friday and Saturday night. Would you open for me? He goes, it would be an honor. So we're going to have some fun tonight and tomorrow.
It's good stuff, folks. And, with Bobby out there up on the East Coast playing in New York, you will be able to bring him right to your living room in Kentucky very soon with this brand new DVD. So make sure you check that out. Amazon, iTunes in February, BobbyCollins.com. I know we're running out of time here, but before we go, I would like for you to just, if there are some young folks out there right now, or anyone for that matter, who thinks that they may have what it takes, they're the funny guy at work, this and that, what would you tell those folks that may have aspirations of giving it a shot one day?
Oh, go to a local comedy club. Get up there, put your egos behind you, talk about things that mean most to you, and get up and just try it out. You got nothing to lose. People like the funny guy. It made me feel accepted. It made me feel more confident. And remember, God first, family second, career third. If you put one ahead of the other, you always got to get back on where you got off.
Wise words from one of the greatest stand-up comedians, folks, Bobby Collins. And we really appreciate you joining us here on the show. We know you got to run, but hopefully we get to talk to you again sometime.
Mac, look forward to it, and thanks for being a class guy.
Thank you. There you go, Bobby Collins, and nice words, and just a really, really cool guy. You can check out a little bit on YouTube if you want to wet your whistle on this guy's comedy, and new DVD coming out next month. Thanks again to Bobby Collins. Coming back, more on KMO next.